Right, hello everyone. Welcome back.
How una dey?
This is Nessa, baby, a girl.
And it's your boy, OD, aka Dr. Dim.
And this is Gisting with the Dims.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Are you ready for this gist? This is episode 4.
We're moving, it's counting.
Yeah. So,
we put it in the numbers.
Yeah, that's right. The last episode, we talked a little bit about social media and relationships. So, this episode, I want to bring social media in again a little bit, but I want to talk more into like parenting in the digital age. Raising children in this world that's dominated by technology, social media, and just like modern day challenges, period. Yeah, so we want to we're both parents, if you didn't know. So we want to just have a discussion about how, what the future looks like parenting our child/children. How that's going to be like. This is just so much is going on in this new century. That is, some things are kind of scary.
That's correct.
Yeah, so we want to just dive into this discussion, see what you all might have an opinion on as well about parenting right now.
Okay. We also just want to use this opportunity to thank our listeners and welcome any new listeners we're having to Gisting with the Dims.
Yeah, thank you so much for those that have been listening since the first episode. Steady, we're grateful for that. And for the new listeners, join us in this journey. We hope that you continue staying on.
Yeah.
Listen to our gist.
All right. Yep. So with that said, what's the plan? Where do we want to start?
We can tell listeners a little bit about us in terms of we're first generation immigrants. Well, I am a first generation immigrant. My parents are born and raised in Nigeria. So how I was raised was not the typical American child way. Right. Those that are immigrants, first generation immigrants, probably know what I'm talking about. But you're not a first generation immigrant though.
I'm still a full-blooded Nigerian.
Yeah, exactly. So you're fully immigrant,
I'm fully blooded Nigerian. I wouldn't even consider
Niger boy. Yeah. Correct.
But the culture is very different, and I'm still well connected with the way I kind of think and my outlook on life. But at the same time, I still have a little bit of that polish of being able to have been out of my country.
Yeah, I also have experience. For me, my experience, because of my mom was a diplomat, so we moved around a lot. So I have experience being raised in in Europe, being raised in Nigeria for a couple of years, and then being raised in America as well. All at different stages of ages. So, I would say that having those experiences have made me adapt to certain environments easier growing up.
Yeah.
When I moved from Nigeria back to the U.S. At a certain age, when I was in middle school, that was the time when being Nigerian or African wasn't cool. So, I was, had a little bit of, I don't say really bullying, but people teasing me and making fun of me, African booty scratcher, or do you live in huts, things like that. So, and then I had, my mom she was very strict in terms of you have to be home a certain time, no sleepovers, going to any school parties or whatnot. Summertime, you're joining, reading, book clubs to read, go to the library. There's no just playing outside, or playing video games. You have to be doing something with the typical immigrant household. That's how I grew up.
For me, in my own case, I grew up in Nigeria most of my life. You had a curfew once you left the house. You couldn't even have friends over at the house. You could not be out late. That was never going to happen anyway. Every friend was a questionable character in most of my parents' opinion. I mean, there was structure. If it was going to be put that way, we had real structure. That differs a lot from what I see today, though. But I don't know. Are we ready to get into it, or we just want to kind of like?
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, we can discuss about like how technology is shaping childhood today. Growing up in a digital home, like right now, it seems like at the age of 1, or even less than that, children are introduced to tablets or the TV to keep them entertained.
Yeah.
You know, which is, I feel like doctors they stress against that. They stress against having kids into screens until like they're at least 2. But over here, like people start early because they just, life. They're just busy with life and different things, and they need to just keep their child busy. Yeah.
If I was to say, right, my opinion, you probably already know what my opinion is. If every parent was like me, there will be no chance for a child that's under the age of like teens that will have the access to gadgets such as like mobile phones and stuff. Like not just mobile phones, but smartphones. I don't think
even phones now. People are having their kids have phones from like 1st grade or 2nd grade.
Man, see, look.
Yeah, but I understand. Anyway, you can go ahead. I wanted to say something about like I understand some reasons why they have them have phones. Well, for the security reasons, when some parents say the security reasons of having them have a phone, so the phone won't have any type of like internet. They'll only have certain numbers that you can call, like emergency contact. Either it's the parents or 911 or any other emergency contact in there. But there's no internet that can be used, or if this internet that can be used is blocked for like on everything besides one specific thing, maybe for emergency reasons.
You forget that there were a lot of things that our parents refused us from doing. But we figured out ways around it. So I'm telling you, like, you expect a child, like, in this current day and age, like we're here, a child will take your phone and pretty much go to the camera, navigate apps and all sorts of things on the phone, while you're just pretty much catching on the, the few things you need to do your day-to-day. So my thing is, let's just be honest, like, kids are advanced. The kid goes out, gets his own SIM, and is running his thing. That's how kids are very inquisitive. They find out about stuff, either someone tells them at school or they have access to find information. And so
that's true.
I mean, I don't consider that like if I'm not going to give a child access to something, I just not give you access to. The thing that I know that kids will find hard to get is the money. So if you cut the access to finances to some extent, not like don't give them any money.
Yeah.
If you limit the access to money, that's probably even better.
Yeah.
Right? You limit the access to money. And then basically, that phone that you talked about buying, that phone shouldn't be bought at an early age. It should be bought when the child is,
What's the age you think that is appropriate? Especially now. Because I'm talking about before and during our time. Me, I got my first phone back then I think that was 16.
I think, I'll be honest with you, since 16.
And that was like a hand-down phone.
Yeah, 16
like
is not too bad. That's nice. That's ideal, right?
But no, I'm talking about now in today's age.
Yeah, in today's day and age.
That's too old.
I would say the best I can do as a parent is 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12, but 10 is good.
10 is the best I can do. And I'll be doing that one with as heavy a limit on many things as I can.
Oh yeah, of course. You definitely have to restrict everything. I feel like you have to even have the passwords to everything that they have on that, what he or she has on that phone or tablet. You can go track. Control. Exactly. You definitely need to do that because you know what I noticed that I was listening to a YouTube or podcast.
Yeah.
One couple, so they were saying that their child, he's 14,
Yeah.
And what they do is he has Instagram or TikTok.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the parents have control of it. Like, they have passwords to go in to check everything, right?
Yeah.
And they limit the time and on all that.
Yeah.
So what the dad does, he goes and he signs into his son's account, and he scrolls through like motivational things that are like educational and stuff about emotional intelligence, things that, sports, whatever, so that it stays on the algorithm. So that every time he goes on it, he'll be seeing that.
Yeah.
That's smart. So
smart.
To keep your child on the right path.
But eventually, YouTube is still going
and he was watching like, okay, he's interested, okay.
They're going to still push the thing they want to
But
push.
of course, yeah, but like he mentioned too, like, of course, if he's looking for something, he's going to find it some kind of way through his friend or something. But
That's how it goes.
You have to have, create that, have those conversations with the child, and so you can build that trust too with them.
Yeah. I would rather like give my kid the opportunity to be able to ask questions that I would want to like restrict them. That would be what I would
Exactly.
prefer.
I think that's the best way to go, honestly. But I also think like tablets, laptops, they're also very positive too that comes out of it in terms of like learning how to code early, learning all those applications, AI. Yeah, don't you think so? Like,
No, the advantages.
there's definitely advantages of that.
Because
like when I was in school and high school, and we didn't have tablets. We didn't use any of that. I didn't learn how to code. I didn't learn all
me
of that.
personally, what I would say is I would prefer maybe providing the first access for that kid as a computer than even having a mobile phone. That would have been my own preference. Because he can still do, or she can still do a lot of things from the device. But the thing is that she has to come back to the house to use it.
Yeah, the computer is easier to restrict.
So she either has to stay at home and keep in touch with people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Or she has to be outside and be clueless and just probably have to come back anyway because, except she's going around with her friends. But if she wants to go do her own thing, she doesn't have any phone, she probably might not know her way around, Because a lot of things today are just connected to the phone. Like, you can have maps, Google Maps, blah, 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 blah. But my point is just to say I would prefer to have my kid have access to a computer or have access to information and the internet via the computer than having it on a mobile phone, because mobile phone just gives you that confidence to just keep on taking a step further. You know what, I can get back, I can do this one, I can do that, because I can get directions by my mobile assistant.
Yeah, and this is like from age 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, 10. That 12 probably sounds a little better now. As you say it more, it sounds better in my ear. Before you know it, by the end of this podcast, it will go back to 16.
Right? Because who knows the way things are going.
It will go back to 16, man. But yeah.
Well, finding a balance between online and offline activities, like for our generation, we were outside more.
Yeah.
Being in the parks, playing basketball, soccer, whatever sports, going swimming outside, meeting different neighbors and just playing with each other. Yeah, we were outside socializing.
Yeah.
But this new generation, they're just glued to their tablets, phones, any type of technology. They'd rather do that.
It sort of
playing
affects
video games.
It sort of seems to affect their ability to communicate effectively.
Exactly.
Because I feel like a lot of them, the way I've observed them, is just like they're very short-tempered. They don't have patience for anything. That's the general Gen Z-ish attitude that you observe. You find a few of them who are like have some kind of balance, and those ones are very rare to come by. Because for them, it's just like anything that's going to be easy. That's why I think AI came out just at the right time. And that's why I also have this feeling like nothing happens in a vacuum in the world. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Because all of a sudden, like, it's just like there's all sorts of agendas just being pushed. Anytime I look around, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff changing. And kids have to deal with this stuff.
And I wanted to talk about the internet, the dangers of the internet though, like dealing with cyberbullying, predators, you know, all these content that can be very inappropriate, such as like OnlyFans and some other ones.
I mean, now, to be honest with you, like many kids at a very young age already know what OnlyFans means. Like kids that you're talking about 16, they know about like OnlyFans. They know what it does. They just might not have an account to do, but they have an account to at least view. Right. They might not be doing anything crazy on there.
That's crazy to me.
Because I mean, like,
I don't even think about like my child like going on.
I mean, see,
stumbling on something like that.
Let's be honest,
wild.
right? On every app, on every platform, there is the dark content of that platform. Just take it or leave it. Even if it's WhatsApp, as simple as WhatsApp is, there is the dark content of WhatsApp, but you just don't know what it's like. You're not connected to that part of WhatsApp. Somebody might just add you to one group one day, and the group is like some dark content that you like. How the hell did I even get in here? So my point is, any sort of social media for me, it's not a good platform. I even remember when I was much younger, there used to be one app that I used to know back in the day. I don't remember what the name is, but it was supposedly one of those very Inception type of like Tinder. The very first type of Tinder, like before Tinder became like Tinder.
So it's a dating app?
Yeah, but it's like not even a dating app. It's like just a people meet app. It's not gender specific. It's just.
I think I know the app you're talking about. It's like a social type of app.
People in different countries.
Yeah, I think I remember. I know the app. I just don't remember the name.
I don't remember the name either. Yeah. But it was a thing back in the day. But my point is just say that those things is like those who knew, but everybody doesn't know that even existed. When they kind of knew that stuff like that was generally when Tinder came out.
Yeah.
But that to say nothing other than for every generation, there will always be your equivalent in any other generation.
Yeah.
For more of the current generation now, it's Bumble, Tinder, BLK, all of the above, right? I mean, I don't know what the next generation is going to be. It's going to be something else.
We probably won't have all these online apps. It'll probably be like virtual like meeting kind of thing.
Yeah. So now I see. You see, like that there's the whole new app Threads, right? I don't want to go on Threads.
Yeah, I'm not on that.
You see, and this is kind of cool.
I'm like tired of going on so many apps.
Yeah, I'm tired of this, and that is how. And you see, that's exactly the recipe for you to get left behind. Let's be honest. That's the recipe. And me too. I'm not saying that.
I don't mind being left behind.
No, and to be honest with you, nothing wrong with that.
I'm one of those millennials that do not care.
There's really nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, that's how when you look at those, it's just like seeing me looking at the generation that we just came after, right? They also have the same problem. They've been left behind. Some of them have been left behind in the era of the Facebook.
Yeah.
They are not using Facebook. Some have been left behind, like, still. I'm telling you, some people do doing MSN. I'm not doing MSN. I'm telling you. Now, this current day, but they are just way different. For example, I'll tell you how sometimes, like, I see that there's certain attitudes that when I see certain eras, I just appreciate them for what they are. Like, for example, you see somebody, like, if you meet some of the people that are like in their 60s now and above, or 70s and above.
Yeah, that's the boomer range, right?
Yeah. Anytime they wish to share information, you see they rush to a piece of paper or a book and have a pen.
And write it down.
Yeah, and write the thing down.
That's the old school way.
I really appreciate it when
I like that though.
You know, because it's just an art that's getting lost. It's an art form that's getting lost. Because for us, when we want to do something like that, we are picking like some kind of device that's designed for it.
We go to our phone and put in notes.
A phone, a laptop, a tablet.
Yeah.
We are going to somewhere. We're not going to look for any hard, manual system.
Yeah. But some people are still old school in the way like write, they're more like to write out things like journaling.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good habit. Don't get me wrong.
I still like to journal the normal way of writing. So.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Not really normal, but the old school way.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
If that helps you to kind of keep track of where you're going, what you want to do. It's the results that matter. It's not really about the process. All the other parts are just like, okay, what level of efficiency do you want doing it? For me, the minimum efficiency is what I need, because I create some time for myself to really go through the process of making it happen. So I don't necessarily need to automate it if it's not necessary.
So how can we limit limit the screen time for like our children, and future children, especially in this modern day where you can't really hide from it. It's literally in your face, like everywhere. If it's not in the home, you're getting outside from your friends or school, your environment, your social environment. Like how can we limit so that it doesn't create a negative effect? Like restrictions on like the time limits.
It's
pushing them in like different activities that'll get them like more outside.
See, children gravitate to what they feel they enjoy. So as a parent, sometimes you might have to get to that point where you tell yourself, look, I understand that my child is grown now, and I just have to only advise but let you use your initiative to do things. Now even that is going to get you into problem with children. But at least that's where I feel I would like to start, personally. So you would do what you think would help, which is, yes, you want to set limits, but you have to understand that don't expect the child to completely adhere to those limits. Yeah. And don't make it something that's going to make you miserable. Because I felt like part of what I felt my own parents kind of had was, it seems like they got frustrated as sometimes you just get frustrated with life. And the child is the one that's just there.
So you take it out on the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what our parents did to us.
Yeah, it's like differentiate the emotion for how life is treating you and how you treat people. It's a hard line. Sometimes people find it hard to be honest with themselves and say like, look, I'm crossing the line here. I don't need to do that. Raising a kid or training a kid.
Yeah.
There's an art to it. Children will still be children. They will find out what they want to find out. And if they really want to do something, they will still go ahead and do it.
That's true.
How many times my dad will say, okay, don't take my car out. Yeah, I said, don't take my car out. We still took that car out, whether he knows or whether he don't know. At the end of the day, we've done what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So all you should be doing as a parent is like, sometimes actually just remembering to pray for your kids, because that's really the person that's going to keep them.
That's true.
Because there's so many people that have like their children just drove out the house and never came back.
Yeah, I feel like the more you push your child away from wanting to do something, the more they would want to do it most of the time.
It's just that simple. They want to experience life. A lot of what you're trying to prevent them from
especially
doing,
at a certain age.
A lot of what you are trying to prevent them from doing is like you're depriving them of their own life.
Yeah.
Because they want to live life as on their own terms. So I'm not going to be in the way for that one. I will let them have to live their own life, because the only reason that's behind it is they think about it and they're like, oh well, the fact that you know about it and you're warning us about it means that you experienced it. So we too want to experience it to know what you felt and why you feel the way you feel. In the reverse sense, that's what motivates them to even still go ahead and do it. So I don't market myself in that area. Where I focus is just making sure that I equip people to be able to tread their path the much I can.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you said, all you can do is really just advise and guide children at that young age where they're under 18. Like you said, the more you try to restrict them from doing something, the more they would want to go to it. And you don't want it to end up in a negative outcome of them like falling in the wrong hands, and it'll be hard to bring them back. So
it's very difficult to bring them back.
I want to just highlight like the importance of balancing screen time, digital literacy, and enforcing putting kids in more activities to force them to socialize more, especially in this digital age where you can get just sucked into that. And also like the role parents makes in guiding our children to make healthy decisions.
Not really, but I just feel like there's always going to be a difference, right? Every generation comes with its own uniqueness, would I say, and it's always tailored to the time. None of this is to really judge any specific time or era. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the episode.
Yes, we have. So if anyone has any suggestions, any comments on this topic, anything you feel like we missed out on discussing and you want to chime in, have any opinions about it, just leave a comment. Let us know. You can also send us an email at thedims2021@gmail.com. It's listed here on the About section, the bio section. Don't forget to follow us at Just In With The Dims and our social media platforms. And we have a poll as well too. As usual, we always leave a poll.
There will be a poll
at the
for
end.
sure.
Just to get you guys talking, get you guys thinking. Right.
Yep. All right.
That's it. Till next time.
It's been Just In With The Dims.
Just In With The Dims. Peace.
Later.